Hi, I'm Stephanie Himes.
Hi, I'm Estefania Bautista.
Hi, I'm Yahaira Cortez.
Hi, I'm Roxana Gutierrez.
Hi, I'm Margaret Bishop.
I'm Jesse Asai.
Alright. We are group Hume. How can someone who understands the good and bad willingly still act bad?
So it's super hard for us.
I mean, I feel like not personally, but logically thinking, the pleasure they get from acting bad, because they're gonna act bad, they're doing it for a reason. I don't think anyone actually does something to hurt someone or to act bad because they're getting something out of it. So maybe the pleasure they get from acting bad holds a higher standard to them than their personal philosophy on ethics and what is good and bad. So it might be out of just selfishness or just self-thought, but I started off with.
So is it like appetites, right? Like the person's being controlled by their appetites. So they're like slaves to their appetites and not their reason.
Mm-hmm.
Or am I wrong?
Yeah.
That's a good example.
We talked about like what if you really understand and comprehended that you would be hurting somebody else, but still chose anyways, but weren't a slave because you contemplated it. Because you chose to wrongly.
I still feel like at the end, you're still looking out for the benefit of yourself.
Mhm.
So in a way, even though you're hurting someone, you can get something out of it, and you put aside their pain and just focus on your gain.
Yeah, we talked about that in session today, like the appetite. It's like if you have like an urge to do something bad, you can like control it, and that's self-control. But if I don't know, it depends on whether, like you said, it depends on whether you contemplate it and you're like, I'm still gonna do this because it's worth it, or it's just like a mad, passionate, like bad act.
Does that relate to the being just and unjust? Because wouldn't it be like the unjust person is like has more willpower because even though they have bad thoughts, they're controlling them. And the just person doesn't have any bad thoughts, so he has no willpower to control them.
Also, on top of you said, what is self-control to each person? Because I feel like self-control is super independently. Like, what's my self-control? Is a lot different from what your self-control on a day-to-day basis about anything. Like, just how people live their lives. So, if it's someone's self-control, that might not be bad to them. Or might not be as bad. They might not know what self-control is to them.
True.
Yeah, you guys said it all.
What does forms mean? Like,
Okay.
like
So
this theory?
yeah, I remember you asked something. Okay, so we actually talked about this in session today. Hopefully I remember it correctly. Okay, so how does this bring us to forms? Was when we were talking about the allegory of the cave and how when people saw the shadows on the wall, they were like, that's the only thing they've ever come to know. So when they're exposed to something else, then they're just gonna be like, oh, that's wrong. Yeah. So when we talked about forms, for the definition I wrote that there's a perfect true form of everything, and everything is trying to reach that. Because when you think of, so I think there was an example of the horse. When you think of a horse, you don't really know the definition of what hoarseness means, right? You don't really know how to define it to someone. You can only say that it's like an animal, 4 legs, blah 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 blah. But people only know it by like how it looks. So they know it by the identification instead of the definition. And like with everything, there's a form to everything.
So what about if like a baby knows what a horse is, sees all these horses, and then you show the baby this 3-legged horse that's like kind of old, kind of sick, like furry, with the tail half chopped off, is the baby gonna still call that a horse? Is that a form to him, or is that still a horse to it? I feel like it's still a horse to the baby.
It's still
It might have a different form. It's still, I don't know if that necessarily correlates.
But that's
It's still a horse to the baby.
what
Socrates.
That's what Socrates. That's what Socrates says
I came up
about.
with a section. That's why I brought that up.
I couldn't say Socrates.
Yeah, it's like the essence of hoarseness is still there, you know, like that's like the high is good, you know.
But what's really confusing about it is that what Socrates was saying is that he kept he kept questioning people about about like, oh, if this is okay, so if there's a four-legged horse and it has like a body and a big nose, then what is that over there? And it would be a donkey, but it has the same characteristics as a horse. But as with the three-legged horse, it's kind of different. But yeah, I get what you were saying. But that's the whole thing, confusing part about it.
What about, like, there's one thing in the reading was like, but if there is a perfect form of everything, what about dirt? What about disease? Like, what does that fall in the forms? Because if there's a perfect form of that, what does that constitute?
I feel like it's more like, I don't know if you guys know anything about like Carl Jung. This is kind of like going off topic, but it's like, he has like an idea of like archetypes that we just like have in the back of our minds all the time, and that's how we like recognize things, and it like reminded me a lot of like forms. So I think like dirt or like disease, even though it's shitty, it's not like it's not like something good that you're like, it's not like an ideal thing, but it's like, there's like an ideal form of it in a way. It's like, yeah, exactly.
Exactly how it's supposed to be, even though it's not good or not necessarily good or bad.
Yeah.
That's weird.
Also, Plato and Socrates are rationalists, so they believe that our souls like saw this in another realm. So like we forgot things when we were born, So the logic is still there. Like, you can still find knowledge because it's still there. So like look for it.
Mm-hmm. But then in Zeno's paradox, he talks about inquiry. How are you supposed to find something if you don't know what you're looking for?
That is tricky.
I'll answer that.
Yeah.
Respond to that.
There's just so many different questions that you can throw in there, like, but whatever.
Like he countered it with the little boy. The little boy knew he knew the trigonometry, even though, or whatever it was, geometry, even though he didn't really know, but it was like the innate thing. But then again, like, I guess that goes into you can only find it if you have some teacher who is like with
You have to
integrity or
ask the
whatever.
right questions to get some of the answers.
But it has to be somebody else doing it for you.
Yeah.
Do you guys want to go back and talk about the unjust and then versus the just life and your opinions on it? Because if we can look back at our notes, we can talk about the two different contradicting opinions that Glaucon had and Socrates had.
Yeah, we can go back to that. What was it? The Gyges ring?
Yeah. Okay. So it was a story about the ring, and the guy who found it, then he abused the power of it because he was a virtuous man at first, but he was in like in a bad position, like he was like poor. He was a shepherd, yeah. So once he got the power of the ring,
He could become like invisible.
He became invisible and took advantage of that power. And I think the question was, why would was this an unjust life or a just life? And Glaucon said that the unjust was better. So what he did was better was because it made him happy, or was it because it definitely wasn't because he was more virtuous anymore. But why did Glaucon say that that life was better?
Because it's easier, I guess, like for him, like basically, if you can get away with something, most people would probably try to like use the ring to their advantage to like get money or like rob a bank or stuff like that, So if you can get away with it, like Glaucon says, everyone will do that. But
yeah, so if you have no consequences.
Okay. Especially if it made you happier, then getting away with it, then you don't have to face any of the consequences. So I feel like he does have a really valid point, even though Socrates says that, or whatever he says that, you're still being unjust and you're not really living the good life or being happy or anything. But it's like, wouldn't that depend upon the person? It doesn't really depend upon what's so great.
Also, I feel like if it lacks consequence, that might not necessarily be unjust to some people. If there is no consequence behind it, it's just an easy way out, or an easy way to solve the problem.
Would that tie out with how you said that if you do something bad, you know, it's bad. Does that lead to ignorance? So would he be ignorant by doing this, or would you just?
Basically, what Plato says is like, if you choose to do the wrong thing, the unjust thing, like you're being ignorant, like you're not like willfully evil, you know.
And then what did Socrates say to respond to? What did he say about like why? Because Socrates said the opposite. He said the just person is better because if you're unjust, then
you're not living a good life.
He talked about balance.
yeah, the balance and how the morals are not right. So like then I guess it goes back to like the guilt. Like if you like doing this, like then you apparently someone's let's say the person who took the ring wouldn't be able to live with himself because what he did was not morally correct.
I feel like the morality of it comes from, and the guilt, it comes from getting caught and knowing that there would be consequences. But if there wasn't any consequence, then I feel like he wouldn't have guilt.
What do you think about self-mastery? Like, what's your intake on it?
I don't really understand what that was. Is it just like the whole self-control?
It's just like self-control. I guess like what is Aristotle trying to get at with you having self-control? Like, what's the purpose, or why would you even want to have or possess that quality?
It's so what? It's so
Stuff.
oh, should be sure.
Oh, the light is on.
Yeah, I guess you should.
Sorry, freak moment.
I don't know. That's such an interesting like concept, like self-mastery and like becoming your best self. Like, what is that?
I think she said that it was about passions versus reason. I know there was two terms that she used, but for what I don't know how to pronounce them, I don't really know what they mean.
I don't think anyone's that pronounces stuff.
Okay, it was passions versus reason.
Oh, the basic definition. You have aprasia and ancrasia. Aprasia is the lack of mastery. Ancrasia is complete self-control. So, impetuousness in the weak. I don't know.
It's Greek stuff, man.
The lack of mastery, which is that type of lack of good decision making.
I guess it creates like a vicious appetite with the lack of like good decision making because you're not like reasoning. But then there's also like a weak individual with vicious appetites and knows it is bad, but does not go through the reason. But you're still having a lack of good decision making.
Yes, it's you don't. It's like the two he made was you don't want to and you can't do it. It's like the difference between the two. But
Then what would increase be?
No, it's just the opposite. Both of those, like having like complete control over yourself and your like appetite.
Why do they say that someone needs self-mastery? And like how does knowledge? Because you need. Wait, no, hold on, I know that one. You need knowledge to know whether your appetites are good or bad, right? But in where would that whole concept like be shown?
With like self-mastery, I guess. Just like fitting into a society that like has certain standards, you know. It's like you have to like
Okay, like this society, like you know it's not good to kill. You know it's not good to kill someone. So yeah.
I want to know, okay, for like the whole thing of reading about phages and how like it was the two horses and the person doing it. Why do you think that it wasn't like it wasn't equal on like for each part? Like it wasn't like split up equally into three parts, like for the appetites, the reason, and then willpower. Like why wasn't it split to? Like, why can't you have appetites? Why do you have to have your knowledge, reason, and willpower control
Your
appetites? Why is it like why can't you have a desire? Like why isn't it good to even have a little bit of desire? Because like isn't that human nature?
Yeah,
have
right.
desire.
Yeah, that it comes naturally.
I mean, everyone has desire. It's just the point, like, how much desire would be good for you, but I guess what, like, Aristotle was trying to say is that most people would, like, become greedy with just a little bit of desire, because you're just going to want to keep wanting more and more. And it's kind of like this, like, Buddhist approach where, like, you shouldn't have, like, those appetites drive you, like, you shouldn't wake up in the morning and be like, oh, I have this desire to like buy these new shoes, and then you just you become like obsessive.
But if it's a natural thing, like you should like Socrates telling you to control everything. Like it doesn't matter whatever it is. Like even if they're good, you're able to control them no matter what.
I think that's where the whole knowledge things come in, because like even they know that Socrates knows that that like you said that having desires is like natural, which is part of human nature, which is why he brings part the whole knowledge part. Like, and even though I don't know if he thinks it's not good to have any desires, but he knows that you need to have knowledge in order to determine whether they're good or bad, and that's where the willpower comes in.
It's a natural thing.
It's true. I know.
It's another
just
thing. Like,
yeah.
what if we can't really help it? Like, what if? Because like I'm sure. Well, I don't know. Because then if you look at animals,
Yeah,
like,
it's so confusing.
do they have desires too? Like we don't know because we can't communicate with them. However, if they did, like where would their knowledge stem from? And like they're just natural animals. So if they have desires, is something wrong with that? You know, is there more?
That's what distinguishes from like animals, like having this reason. Like Aristotle said, like a man is a rational political animal. Like, so you have to have that rationality, or else we're just going to be like animals, like having no self-control, no self-mastery.
Well, we don't know that. I mean, like, because we can't, you know, like, in general, like, yeah, I guess we're superior, but like, we don't really know because we can't communicate. Because it could be.
It could be rational.
I was very. I heard about this guy who thinks that like dolphins are smarter than humans.
It's true.
Dolphins are really smart.
They're usually smart.
They're cute.
Yeah. Well, these add up to how like in like our society they say to have ambition, but too much ambition will like lead to So it's like so it's like you can desire things and to move up like a scale or a ladder, but you can't just keep. You can never reach the top. You will never reach.
You'll never be happy.
Yeah. So I feel like if you keep adding desires, it'll just be like a custom, and you will never actually.
A vicious cycle.
Yes. Exactly.
Yes. Will have no end. Oh God.
Yeah.
I think one thing that I found really interesting about what she was talking about in lecture was the whole eudaimonia thing, about how there are like, even though like a lot of things can make someone reach, like for example she was talking about like honor and like money. She said that even though those things make you happy, they're not considered reaching that eudaimonia, because like for example, like for the honor, like if someone is giving it to you, or for the money, that means I don't know if it means that also someone's giving it to you, but it's materialistic.
It's external.
What I'm basically getting is like, what would be the like where does the line draw? So what would it actually mean to reach eudaimonia, and then what doesn't? So like, what do you guys think of?
Honestly, I don't really like that concept of like when you have to be old and like look back on your life about how your behavioral virtues were. Like I don't like that because it's like I feel like happiness in itself is with the here and now, because you can't think about your past being happy because like yes you can judge how virtuous a person was based on their life, but the happiness that they're going through is only the present feeling. can only feel in the present, you can't feel in the past or the future. So it's like, I don't know, I like that concept, but I mean, if you were to base it more on like the previous life or whatever, it's just based on your acts, how you acted, and why, your intention, kind of.
Do you guys think that justice comes out of necessity or like out of just because we're morally like inclined to do things?
I believe we're more inclined to be just. Yeah. Because I mean, we all would want to be like accepted, and if you do wrong, you're put aside from society.
Yeah, that's true.
And it's like, I don't know. I feel like we have this whole innate thing about like do unto others like what you want. Yeah, the golden rule. And it's like I feel like that's such a source for like so many of our morals. It's like what?
I don't feel like the golden rule is necessarily followed by most people today.
I know. Yeah.
That's the
Definitely.
thing.
Yeah, it's like I guess that's more of like a deontologist perspective, but it's like people in this day and age, they will, because you'll do something to them, right? Or they'll do something to you and it'll be okay, and then you just they're like, what? Like, why would you do that to me? Like, no, bro, like, it doesn't work like that.
Would it be just if like there's like a fat man patrolling and then there's like 4 workers? Would it be just to push him or just ignore
To save
him?
someone's life.
I mean, like, what do you guys feel about utilitarianism as a whole?
I feel like that's one of the most confusing concepts
I love
ever.
it.
It's like,
Yeah, it's my favorite.
I don't really agree with it. I feel like on that point, if you have to choose, I feel like either way, if you do something, you're killing somebody.
yeah, it's because there's always like a what if, like what if that one person was your family member? I don't even know how to, I hate that question. I don't know how to answer because it's just like I don't want to kill anyone.
What if you don't do anything? You're still gonna see something.
But that means it would happen naturally. I don't know. See, I can't.
It wasn't your fault.
Yeah, I
You're
can't
not
do that.
necessarily pushing the button.
Yeah, but then people will be like, you were
You don't
awake.
mind driving the train though.
Yep, they would be good too.
Driving the train witness.
Yeah, so it's,
Yeah, it's like if you could see like, oh, I could do this or this, and you choose not to do it, does that mean something like in itself? Is that like you had the opportunity to change it, but you didn't? So
I feel like that's a controversy. Because I mean, like nowadays, if you see someone like they're stealing something from somebody and you help, like to stop it, I mean, it could go both ways. Either you can get like hurt, or like when the police comes by, they can like also like not take your word for it and also get you involved. And it's like it's really weird to make a choice that at that like a certain time.
Yeah,
Like if you see the train passing by and you're just like, what am I gonna do? Like if I push it, I'm killing someone. But if I don't push it, then you know I'm gonna live with the guilt of knowing that I could have done something. But I mean, at the end, it's like not your fault.
I see, like, for the stealing thing, like, what if somebody you want to stop from stealing is somebody, like, I mean, in itself, it's not good to steal from other people or whatever, but if it's like, for example, Walmart, the people there, like, you're stealing from Walmart itself is already messing people up in China, and it's like, you're stealing something from Walmart, and you try to stop it, and then that person is actually struggling, doesn't really have a home, has, like, what, 4 kids to feed, no other spouse, like, you know, like, what happens then, like, who's morally right, like, it's not really there.
Sorry, I know. I think me and my okay, so this is all hot. But me and Megan were talking about something similar, except for the whole Walmart thing. We were talking about the death penalty, like if someone kills someone and people decide whether they should be sentenced to the death penalty or life in prison. And my roommate was like, well, I don't agree with the death penalty because even like no matter what they did, no matter if they killed someone, it doesn't make you any better taking their life away. Like no one should take anyone's life away, even if they had done it. So that's why it's like I don't know. Yeah.
What if it's cheaper?
What if it's cheaper?
Because we
Oh
are
yeah,
paying.
people say that death penalty makes it cheaper, but I don't know. It all goes back to the whole like what you think is morally correct, and it makes you. I just can't.
Well, I feel like I don't know, like to piggyback on that. Like what if a girl is getting raped and you try to like if you're getting raped and and you try to defend yourself and you kill that person, are you like? Is
See,
it your
that's
fault?
another
Or
one.
like,
I don't know. That's
it's
not
like
your fault.
there's people in prison. There's people in prison who killed in their defense and they're still in prison because they killed. So it's like,
Yeah, self-defense.
yeah.
I feel like there's no morality at all. I'm kind of a skeptic. What do you guys feel about moral skepticism? Does it exist?
It
Yeah,
can.
I feel like I'm a skeptic.
Yeah, like, is it there or is it just
I
like
definitely think it
illusion,
exists.
right?
Really, because I feel I don't know,
Skepticism.
like
Can you prove it?
I think because like
They're children's books.
innately, like we all, or I mean, some people, unless you're a sociopath, like you would feel guilt because you, like, I mean, maybe not because I don't know.
There's no
So
way.
much contradiction in this story. Yeah. Do you guys remember what the different moral systems were?
Ooh, there's like quite a few.
Yeah.
Since we're already on the same topic about moral.
Which one?
That's good. I think it
Which one would you guys consider yourself?
Myself.
It was like the same here.
That's what I'm
Really utility. I can't pronounce anything. I think I don't know why. I think I would have to go with maybe absolutism.
I think deontology maybe.
Honestly, I'm a skeptic.
Skeptic real. Oh yeah, skeptical.
Like a little bit of all three.
Why didn't anyone say divine commands? Like, what is divine commands?
That's so dusty. What is it?
Is that God? Is that really God?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's a
Mine's God.
scripture.
Scriptures,
Church.
different ways of what religion is or what you believe. That's a higher power.
Yeah. Or what is natural law?
What's natural is good, and then
Natural.
what contradicts
Is
it
that
is
what,
bad.
what we're born with? Is that
Yeah.
what it's supposed to
But
be?
then it's like what is essentially natural to us.
Yeah. But then they ask, so how can some natural human behaviors be bad? So if people naturally, let's go back. If people naturally have desires, why is that bad? If there's such thing as natural law, and they're saying, what is natural is good, then if people have desires naturally, then that's bad, and then it goes back to itself. I can't.
But like, what is natural? You know,
It's
like,
like what is like the state of nature?
Yeah, I guess that's how you
Like,
define that.
how do you define natural? Like the concept of natural is so vague and it's so
Yeah.
ambiguous. Like what we define, like people used to define natural like being like heterosexual, you know. But in our society, like being like bisexual or like lesbian is natural to us. You know?
Yeah, exactly.
There is no such thing as natural. It's just like
Just like, is it natural for humans to kind of assume the superior and then be able to like for example, like companies and big business and stuff, like you know how we take over, we take everything from the rainforest or whatever, and then we dump all our trash. Like it's just a natural act because that's how we think and we can do what we want. Like naturally because we feel like we're superior.
it's like natural because we like it happened and we found it. That's
because because like
who's to say that it isn't natural? You know.
Exactly, it could be like this interpretation of you showing out, which is weird.
You guys think about pluralism, like having multiple truths that can exist at the same time.
I think that's the most realistic.
so
Yeah, I
accurate.
think it's a thing.
That's more.
Definitely.
That's
Definitely.
definitely more realistic because everything. Like, I don't know. It's like when you blame something, like you can blame it on the world, or some people like blame it on God. Like you know, when people say like, if God exists, then why am I suffering so much? Why did this bad thing happen to me? And then there's like, and then when people say like, oh my God, something good happened to me thanks to God, so it like contradicts. That's why I'm saying that there's multiple truths to everything. So maybe I changed my mind. I'm not absolutism. I'm pluralism.
Ooh, what's an argument? I feel like a lot of people get this wrong. Like, how do you, like, what's the definition of an argument? Like,
Argument.
yeah, like, what does it entail? Like, what does it lead to?
Wasn't that about the premise and has about the conclusion?
I think the
argument is like a chain of reasoning designed to prove something.
Mhm.
It's all logic. You took logic to the hill wrong. You don't want to go there. Okay, we can skip this logic stuff. The truth tables.
Is that any way related to Kant?
Um,
Because I feel like after reading Kant, what I grasp from that is everything he's about pretty much is like based entirely on reason, and it's pure reason. It's pure reason that everyone can share.
yeah, definitely relates.
I think earlier she was talking about how you don't think it's I don't know if I heard you right. How you don't think it's correct to say that someone can be like truly happy once they're like almost dead or like dead, like really old or dead. Like, do you remember what do you guys believe in that? Do you guys think that you can only be like you only know that you're truly happy because according to Aristotle, he says that happiness has to be permanent, meaning that if you're like young and you're like something good happens to you later on and something bad happens to you, that means you're not happy because happiness according to him has to be permanent. So do you think that what he's saying is correct, or do you think that someone can or you can be happy and have like those bumps in the road, whatever?
Kind of agree with you. Like happiness is in the moment, and like it's weird to try to look back and like decide how happy like your life is as a whole, because it's like how happy are you right now? Like that's the only thing that really matters.
But then the question raises like you can be happy if you've never experienced sadness before. So I feel like in a way it's like balancing out.
Solid.
I feel like if you're striving for the end goal of happiness, then all the work in between, if it's not enjoyable work and the end goal is happiness, then it doesn't add up correctly, at least to me.
We're done, yeah.
Yeah.
I should be like an hour.
All right.
This is supposed to be an hour?
No, it's supposed to be 6 minutes.